Hey my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we'd talk about one of my favourite things to talk about. I thought we'd talk about foundations. Now you'll know if you are a regular over here, I love a good foundation. I love trying new ones, and I thought today I would talk about my top 10 for dry skin. So these are 10 foundations that for me personally, they work beautifully. So we'll start off with some kind of sheerer skin tint kind of things. First off, we've got MAC Studio Radiance. This is the least coverage one that I'm mentioning today. This is a really light, glowy, beautiful skin tint. Great shade range as MAC always does. It's very liquidy and it sits really beautifully on the skin, giving you that really pretty glowy look, but it doesn't settle in after a while like some skin tints can. This one just looks really radiant all throughout the day. It's the perfect kind of everyday work foundation in my eyes. Then these two are more on the sort of, they're not medium coverage, I would say they're still light coverage, but these are both slightly more kind of satin in finish. So this is the Fenty Ease Drops Blurring Skin Tint. This is a really beautiful product. It's not one I see many people talking about, but it's just, again, a really great everyday. If you're into something less dewy than face and body, this is definitely a great one. It's very comfortable on the skin, but it does have some slightly mattifying properties. And then this one is probably in the middle of both of those. This is the Dior Face and Body Foundation. Now, first thing with this one, this is 1N, it's very yellow. I find a lot of high-end foundations can run very yellow, especially Dior. So this is a little bit yellow, so I do have to be careful when I wear this. As you can see, that's quite dark for a shade number 1. This is the kind of perfect in the middle product to these two. It's not quite as matte as this one, it's not quite as glowy as this one, it's just a really great in the middle product. It has slightly more coverage than the MAC, about the same as the Fenty, and these three I just think if you are like a skin tint person, you should own all three of these. Moving on to the actual foundations, first off I wanted to mention NARS Sheer Glow. Now, I always thought Natural Radiant Longwear was going to be my favourite NARS foundation, but when I sat and really thought about it, I think Sheer Glow is my favourite. I hate the packaging, I hate the fact the lid never screws on straight, I hate the fact it has no pump, but the product inside is beautiful. Now, I am Mont Blanc in NARS, always very pale, very pink, so great for Casper the Ghost red toned people like myself. But this foundation is a perfect medium coverage. I used to not understand why they called this Sheer Glow. Now, it's not sheer, definitely not. And I always used to think it wasn't glowy, but it is in fact that kind of skin-like texture, which to me is glowy these days. It's not the most glowy foundation I've ever tried, not even the most glowy foundation I'm mentioning today, but it looks beautiful on the skin and is an absolute cult classic, let's face it. A couple of tubular foundations, let's do these next. This is Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. This one is a pain because the lid comes off with the, it's kind of annoying. But this is the shade 1 Neutral. As you can see, it is again quite dark, but this one is a beautiful medium to high coverage, quite glowy finished foundation. The only thing with this one is it can end up feeling a little bit tacky on the skin, so I always set this one with a setting spray and powder like in the areas that I'm going to touch. But this is really beautiful. As I said, it's quite high coverage, sits really nicely on the skin and gives that really glowy effect. And then this is the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue makeup. If you have dry skin and if double wear looks literally like cracking pavements on you like it does me, you need to try this one. This is almost the same coverage as double wear, but it is the most beautiful, comfortable. I imagine this would be absolutely amazing on mature skin. It's so comfortable, it's so glowy, so dewy, it looks beautiful. It sits so nicely. It can feel a touch heavy if you do too much of it, just like double wear really, but for me this is like double wear's sister for dry skin. Now this one is definitely the lightest foundation I'm mentioning today. This is the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. This is the most lightweight foundation I've ever tried. It's a medium coverage, it does say weightless, and I completely agree. I actually have 2 shades of this. I love it that much. I have like a summer and a winter shade. But this sits on the skin so beautifully. Feels completely like you're wearing nothing. This feels more like a skin tint than most skin tints actually do. But it's incredibly comfortable, gives a slightly sort of luminous finish. It's not majorly glowy, but it feels really beautiful. This one I can wear even if I don't prep my skin, which for me, having, as I mentioned in a previous video, a lizard skin, I can't normally do that. But for me, I can wear this without any sort of prep. It's amazing and I love it. And then I think these 3 are like the most high coverage ones. So this is the KVD Good Apple Serum Foundation. I much prefer this to the balm. I do find it's glowier and it doesn't quite go as cakey. This shade is insane. Like, I am pale, but I'm not this pale. So this is a winter only foundation for me unless I mix it. But it is a beautiful formula. It lasts really well. It feels very hydrating and nourishing on the skin. And it's one of those that on a sort of everyday basis, if you want something more high coverage, it's really great. Now the final 2 are more matte finishes. Now I do know, even though I've got dry skin, sometimes I want a matte finish, and my favourite matte foundation is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24 Hour. This stuff is incredible. This is completely matte. There's no glow to it. There's no shine. There's no luminosity. If you just wore this, you would look flat. But sometimes that's what I want from a foundation. And this does not cling to any dryness. It sits beautifully on the skin and it wears so incredibly well. It doesn't end up looking cracking or crepey because my skin is so dry. I don't understand what they've put in this stuff, but whatever it is, it's incredible. And also, doesn't that sound nice? And then finally, the newest foundation in my loves list. This is the Eternity De Beauty foundation from Gucci. This I just mentioned in my quarterly favourites. It's actually what I'm wearing today. I absolutely love this stuff. It is more luminous than the Lancome. It's definitely got a bit more to it. It does describe itself as a luminous matte, and I would actually agree. But this one is, for me, this is just a great soft matte, luminous, beautiful. This is an event foundation for me. Not just because it's hella expensive, because it is, but I just think it looks beautiful in pictures. It looks great. This one, you do need to prep the skin a little bit. I find it can be a bit clingy to like hair and things like that. But for me, I dermaplane my face anyway, so it's not so much of an issue because it's something I do already. But I just find when my face is getting ready for dermaplaning, it can like cling to some of the baby hairs and the peach fuzz. But other than that, this is beautiful. It looks great on the pores, really quite blurring. I think this is amazing and I can see why so many people are raving about it. So that's it from me today. Let me know in the description box, what is your skin type and what are your top 3 foundations? To be honest, I think I'd find it hard to whittle these 10 down to 3. But right this second, I think I'd probably go Gucci. I'd probably mention the Estee Lauder. And then it would probably be a toss-up between the Urban Decay and the MAC. So I can get it down to 4. But yeah, I really do hope you did enjoy this. Let me know what your favourite foundations are in the description box. If you did like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video, hit that bell icon and you'll get a notification every time I post. You've been fabulous, I've been Colour the Ball, and I'll see you next time. Bye!